Hello and welcome to day 4 of your reset training. My name is Nicole and I'll be taking you through your workout today. So today is a cardio focus. So we've got a cardio and strength mix, but a lot of the focus is going to be on the cardio aspect of the session. But before we get into that, we are going to go for some mobility, just to loosen up the body and to get the blood flowing, and then we'll get straight to it. So we're going to head to the mat and we're going to go for, as always, the old faithful cat-cow, which always feels so good, always feels so nice. So hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, head up towards the ceiling, arching the back, shoulders away from the ears, and then we're going to push through the hands around the spine. If you can't actually, if this doesn't feel that great for you, what you can do is a kneeling cat-cow, which, and I'll show you how this goes here. So hands out here and starting from a neutral position, and we can curve the spine this way, which is pretty much the same thing that we're doing on the floor, but you might not be able to put too much pressure through certain parts of the body. And then you're arching this way and lifting the head back. So that's an alternative to the all fours cat-cow. So after this, we are going to go for a hamstring stretch. So we've got our right leg out nice and straight and chest tall. We're going to send the hips back, foot is flexed, and we're going to come down towards the toe. So head is heading for the toe. If you can get there, great. If you can't, then just going as far as you can. Some nice deep breaths and breathing out, trying to go a little bit further. Nice deep breath in. Trying to go a little bit further, and let's swap over to the other side. So left foot is flexed, toes to the ceiling, sending the hips back. You should feel a really nice stretch in your hamstring. My hamstring on this side is so tight, so just even putting it here, I'm like, so nice and tall, sending those hips back, lifting those toes up towards the ceiling. Nice deep breath in. As you breathe out, letting it go a little bit deeper. Deep breath in. As you breathe out, letting it go a little bit deeper. And then we're going to go from here into a hip flexor stretch. So pushing into the left knee, opening up the right hip flexor, and then coming out of it, and then going back into it, just opening up that hip flexor again, and then coming out of it, and then one last time, just opening it up and swapping the legs over. So pushing into the right knee, opening up that left hip flexor and letting it go. Kneeling into that right knee and letting it go. Breathe in and letting it go. So let's get straight into it. We're going to be working at a 1 minute on, 1 minute off for each of our exercises. And the first exercise that we're going to do is going to be a walkout. So this is all low impact cardio, so really nice and low impact, no jumping, nothing that's going to be too abrasive at this point, but still going to get the heart raising and still going to be making us get a bit of a sweat on. So starting from the top end of the mat, just to demo what the walkout looks like, you're going to come down to the floor. So standing, good posture, walking out, walking the hands along the mat, and then walking back towards the hand and standing up. That's one. So we're going to go for as many walkouts as we can in 1 minute. And then we are going to go straight into our pause squat. So we're here, bouncing into the squat and then coming up. So pause, goblet squat. So coming down here and then coming up. Pause, bounce, and coming up. So those are the two first exercises that we're going to go into. I'm going to do 1 minute on and 1 minute off, 1 minute on. So starting with the walkouts, let's get into it. So starting up nice and tall, we're walking out into that plank position and then coming straight back in, standing up nice and tall. So using that breath, finding that position of the plank, coming back in, breathing out. So using that breath as you go through, coming back in. We're 20 seconds in. So taking those hands out, plank position, reaching there, coming straight back in, standing up nice and tall. walking out, getting that heart rate going. Coming up. Got 20 seconds left. We're here, coming out, standing up. Nice, nice and easy. Starting to feel that heat coming through the body now. Let's see if we can get a couple more before we finish our minute. And last one. And so we're going to have 1 minute of rest. And with the walkouts, we are finding that plank position, hitting it, and then going straight back into a standing position. So even though we're not jumping, we're not running, we're still elevating our heart rate and we're still working very hard. So next exercise will be our pause, bounce squats, and we'll go on for 1 minute and then we'll rest. So we've got 25 seconds left of our rest time. Grab some water, try and relax a little bit, let the heart rate slow down a little bit before we take it back up again. So we've got 10 seconds and then we're going into our pause squats, which are here, here and up. And let's go for it. So coming down into that squat and coming up. Here, so if we're reaching that floor, if you can reach the floor, awesome, or just take it as far as you can go. Coming down, bounce, and coming up. 15 seconds in. Use that breath. Breathing in, using that breath to push down through the feet, to drive you up. We're halfway through. We're nearly there, 20 seconds left. And then we're gonna have a minute's rest. And then we're gonna do it all again. Last 10 seconds. Nearly there. Last 5 seconds. And last rep. Whew. I'm feeling warm already, so grab a drink. We've got a minute of rest and then we're going back in for our walkouts. So again, bringing that heart rate up and just take notice of how you're feeling in the body. Take notice of the blood flowing through the body, how you're feeling. You can always go at a slower pace. It doesn't have to be as quick, or you can certainly speed things up if that feels good for you to do at this point. But the goal and the objective is to raise the heart rate and get some blood flow going through each of the movements. So we have 20 seconds until we get back into it. So key points are hitting that plank position, coming all the way up, utilizing that breath as we go down and breathing out as we come up. We've got 5 more seconds and we're going back into the walkouts. In 3, 2, and 1. So coming all the way down and coming out. So going right down into it and then coming up. So keeping that focus, like a rhythmical movement that it can be, or just taking it slower. If you need to go a bit slower, that's completely fine. Listen to the body and do what feels good. And we've got 25 seconds left. We're nearly there. Let it flow nice and easy. See if we can squeeze one more in. Let's have a minute's rest. So, as I said, it starts to become quite rhythmical, and you can really see how the body's feeling by your breath, from how you're feeling as you're going from one movement to another. And just listen. If you can do a bit more, if it's time to push it, then awesome. But if you feel like you need to slow it down, you're like, okay, just pull things back, then you can do that too. There's no problem with that at all. And you might find from one exercise to another that you might be doing different things, that you might think, oh, I can really push this one today. And then the next one you might be like, oh, actually, I need to fall back on that one. And that is completely fine. So we have 20 seconds and we are going to go into our final goblet, there's no goblet here, pause squat, pause bounce squat. So 10 seconds and then we are moving. Key points here, quite wide legs and knees over toes, coming down as low as you can into that squat and then driving up. And 3, 2, and 1. So 1 minute on, coming down, coming down into that squat. Nice and easy, going where the legs want to take you. Using the breath, breathing in at the bottom, breathing down on the way up. We're halfway through. So really using those legs. Nearly there. Last 25 seconds. And last little bit, last 15 seconds. Last 2. And last 1. Nice. So our next set of exercises will be mountain climbers and step backs. So mountain climbers, you might have done them before. So we're in the same position that we finished our walkouts in at the top of the mat. So we're here and we're lifting the knee into the chest and swapping from leg to leg. So it's plank position and we're lifting one leg at a time. We can go a little bit quicker or we can just be lifting one leg at a time, so almost stepping it out. So mountain climbers, and then with the step backs, we're here in a bent knee position and we're taking step back here, step back here, step back here, step back here. And that is for 1 minute. So 1 minute mountain climbers, 1 minute with the step backs. So we are going to go in 20 seconds. We're going to get that done and we'll do 2 sets as always, and we'll start with the mountain climbers, then we'll go into the step backs, then we will do it all over again. So we've got 10 seconds left and we're going for the mountain climbers first. Good luck, this is a very spicy exercise. So let's go in 3, 2, and 1. So stepping out, knees coming into the chest, pushing through the hands, breathing through the movement. Just keeping it going. If you're wanting to jump it, you can jump it. Likewise, if you're wanting to slow it down, you can slow it down. So nice deep breaths. And we are halfway through. So doing really well. Bringing those knees into the chest. Well, that's where we're aiming for. Nice deep breaths in, starting to feel some fire through the arms now. We've got 10 more seconds. Nice deep breaths, keeping it going. We are nearly there. And 3, and 2, and 1. So, step backs. Let's have a minute's rest and then we'll go into those. So positioning for here is always flat back, slight bend in the knees, stepping the legs back from the front of the mat to the back. So we're going to go 40 seconds and we are going to go for 1 minute. Then we'll have a rest, then we'll do them both again. So doing really well. It's getting quite warm now, but that means that we are in a good place and that we're working the body. Heart rate is up, which is what we want. Got 20 more seconds. So grab a quick drink of water if you need it. And let's get ready for our step backs. So 10 more seconds, we're nearly there. And 3, 2, and 1. So hands for this can either be here, like you're praying, which I seem to really enjoy doing, or they can be here on the hips. So stepping back and back. This can be a nice alternative to a sort of lunge. if you have problem putting too much flexion on the knees, it could be a nice alternative for that, especially when you're doing cardio. Sometimes in classes you don't get a chance to talk about what your ailments are, or what, any injuries or things that you've got going on. So this is a good one if you're programmed lunges and you're like, actually can't do lunges. These are really good for that. So just keeping it going. Nice deep breaths in. It's a nice welcome change from the mountain climbers as well. Deep breath in, breathing out. Got 10 more seconds. I'm in the prayer position again. Here, stepping back, bringing it forward. Deep breath in and breathing out, and relax. So we've got 1 minute, and then we're going to do them both again. So grab a drink of water if you need it. But key points for the mountain climbers are to think about pushing through the hands. Obviously the legs are doing a lot of work as well, but try and take as much ownership over the hands as possible. Sounds kind of strange, but the more that you're pushing through the hands, you can feel that you have a bit more control there. And especially on those last few seconds, you can really push down into the floor and really, really go for it. So we've got 25 seconds left of rest. And with this one, it's just keeping that position of the flat back and not letting yourself kind of come into a curve. As I said before, you can start to put some pressure on your lower back and your upper back. It doesn't feel that great, so just trying to keep the chest tall. So always have that proud feeling in your chest, and that will help to keep your shoulders back and give you the posture that you need. So let's go for it. Last set of mountain climbers. Let's pray. So going in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. So pushing through those hands and bringing the knees up as high as you can. Nice and easy. Listening to your breath, listening to your body. Nice and easy. Bringing those knees up into the chest, but taking your time if you need to as well. And also if you need to just step it out from here, then that's fine too. So keeping it going. We're more than halfway through, which is great. We've got 25 seconds left. Let's go for it. So bringing those knees up, nice deep breaths. We are nearly there, very nearly there. Lots of heat in those arms. The last 5 seconds. And 3, and 2, and 1. Oof. Let's have a minute's rest. And then we've got our last set of step backs, which will feel really lovely in comparison. So again, as I said, keeping that chest lifted, tiny bend in the knee. If you can bend a little bit lower, then great. If you can't, then just bending a little bit is fine. Just take it to where it's comfortable for you and where it feels like, okay, I can get enough out of this, So we've got 30 seconds left to rest, and then we are back in for our step backs, and then we are moving on. Whew. So really building up a sweat now, which is good. Always good to build up a sweat, I think. It just feels nice, doesn't it? It's like, okay, there's the sign that I worked. Even though it shouldn't be like that, it does feel like that sometimes, which is nice. 5 more seconds, and we're going into our step backs in 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. Keeping that chest lifted. Praying if you want to pray. Hands on hips if you want hands on hips, or hands clasped if that feels good for you. So just taking 1 step back at a time. Nice deep breaths. Breathing into it. We are nearly there, we're halfway through. Nice and easy. Deep breaths. And let the breath go. We're nearly there. Last 15 seconds. So keeping that chest nice and tall. Last 5 seconds. And 3, and 2, and 1. So on to our next pair of exercises, a walking burpee and bicycle crunch. So with the walking burpee, it's quite similar to our walkouts that we did at the beginning, and we're going to be going for 1 minute. So you're going to come down to the floor into a press up position and then stand up. So it's not the jumping back and jumping up. As I said, this is low impact. So we're coming down into press up position, then coming up. With the bicycle crunch, we are working our abs in this particular exercise. Elbows out, hands behind the ears, and then we're bringing elbow to knee and breathing out as we crunch the abs. So those are our first two exercises. Let's go for it. So we're going to start in 3, 2, and 1. So coming down into that walking burpee position and coming up. So utilizing the breath, breathing in. So nice low impact. Cardio doesn't have to always be about jumping and putting strain or stress on the joints. It can be quite soft, and we can go at any pace that suits us. And coming up, good. Using that breath. We've got 30 seconds left. So standing all the way up, coming into that press up position. Our last 15 seconds. We're nearly there. Last 5 seconds. And now we can rest for 1 minute before we go into our bicycle crunch. So just taking some time to recuperate, to rest, to bring the heart rate back down before we go into our bicycle crunch. So for that, obviously we're on the floor. Grab a little bit of water if needed, and then we'll get straight into it. So coming down onto the floor, and we've got 30 seconds left of rest, just getting into position, and then we can go for our bicycle crunch. So remember, elbow to knee, so elbow coming into the knee, and we are squeezing the abs in. So we're here, and then coming back to starting position, our bicycle crunch. We've got 10 seconds before we get into it. So just ensuring that we are just listening to the body, engaging the core muscles, and using the breath as we go through the exercise. And let's go for it. So elbow to knee. Just taking that time, crunching in. Elbow to knee. And we are halfway through. Got 30 seconds left. Using that breath as we go through. Last 15 seconds. Squeezing the abs in. And 3, and 2, and 1. And just stretching out those abs. So let's have a minute's rest, and then we can go straight back into our walking burpee. So just taking the time, let the air drop back into the body. Nice deep breaths, and breathing out. We've got a minute's rest. So 30 seconds left to grab a drink. Just shake everything out before we go back into the last set of the walking burpee and the bicycle crunches. And I can feel it in my abs already, which is great. So just coming back, just a reminder. So coming down to that press up position and coming up. So just taking our time, going at our own pace, doing what feels right for our body at this point in time. And we've got 5 seconds before we get back into the swing. And 3, 2, and 1. Coming down. Just really utilising that breath. And we've got last 20 seconds. So finding that position, so finding that push-up position, coming back and standing up. Let's see how many more we can do before the end. The last 5 seconds. And last one. Nice. So let's have a minute's rest and then we'll go into our bicycle crunch for 1 minute. So just let everything go. Let the breath drop back into the body. Just notice how the body's feeling. Where's the blood rushing to? Where feels tight, where feels stiff. We're going to have a little bit of a stretch out once we get to the end of the workout, and that'll feel really nice to get back to whatever we have left for the rest of the day. So coming down onto the mat, and we are going to go for our last bicycle crunch. So elbow to knee. Remember that we're tensing the abs and breathing out as we touch elbow to knee. So we're here, hands behind the ears. So touching elbow to knee. So utilising that breath. Just taking your time. Squeezing through the abs. Last 15 seconds. And 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So let's have a little breather. And so lastly, we are going to finish with some push-ups. So there's a few different ways in which you can do push-ups. So, you know, if you haven't done them very much before, or you feel that you might not be able to do them, I'm going to show you a variety of different ways in which you could do it. So don't worry too much. So firstly, we are going to come obviously down to the floor, and you're going to have your hands outside of your shoulders. So nice and wide, a lot wider than you think. And then your toes or your knees, I'll show you from the knees first, are going to be, you're going to be on this part of your knees. So it's not on the actual kneecap, but you're just above the knees here. And that helps you to get a nice position with your body so that you're not like this and you're like this. So we're on the flat part of the thigh, where the thigh meets the knee. And then you're going to lower the arms down, so elbows coming out, and then pushing up. So lowering down here and pushing up. Or we can go for the full push-up, which is the same position with the hands, and coming down and then pushing up, down and pushing up. So whichever way is best for you, then that's great. If you can't, or you haven't done push-ups very much before, what you can do is you can just hold this position. So you can hold this position, this way that we're still building strength in our arms and we're getting used to being in this position. So we're, you know, we're not having to come down and come up, but we're in this position and we can hold it for the duration of the exercise. So we're going to go for 10 reps, whichever way suits you the most, and I will count. So if you're holding, we're counting for 10 seconds, or a little bit more than 10 seconds, I reckon it will be. So we're here and we are going to go for 10 press ups. So if we're from the knees, then we're in this position. If you're holding, same position. But if you're going for full ones, then we're in this position. So coming down, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7. Use the breath to push you up. And 9, and 10. So let's have a little breather. And just some key things to note with your push-ups. So you want to make sure, obviously, like I said, your hands are by the shoulders. You also want to make sure that your body's in a nice flat line. So we're not here and we're not coming down like this or like that. We're keeping that line straight from the top of the head to the tip of the tailbone. And we can also use the breath to bring you up, to push you up, to give you that drive to get to the top of the movement. So we're going to go for another set of 10 in 30 seconds. Let's give ourselves a bit of time to recover. So we'll go for 10 reps in 30 seconds and then we'll have our nice little cool down and stretch out and shake everything out, get rid of all that tension. So let's go for it. 15 seconds left of our rest. So grab a quick sip of water if you need it. Let's find our position. So hands are by the shoulders and we're going for 10 reps in 3, 2, and 1. Let's go for it. And 2, and 3, if you're holding, hold, and 4, and 5, and 6, and 7, last 3, and 8, use the breath, and 9, and 10, and relaxing. So we are going to go into our cool down. It's been a very sweaty little session today, and now we're just going to cool down the body and bring the heart rate back down. So just lying down on the back, we are just going to drop the legs over to one side. So hands can either be out beside you, they can be in a cactus position, or they can just wrap around the body. So legs from one side to the other, just getting a little bit of space in the lower back. So breathing in as the knees come up, breathing out as they drop from one side to the other. We're going to go for 2 more on each side. And last one. And then from here, we're just going to go for our little hamstring stretch. So we've got one leg up and one leg along the mat, pushing the heel towards the ceiling and pulling the leg in towards you. So getting that extra stretch in the hamstrings as you push the heel towards the ceiling. Deep breath in as you bring the leg in towards you, letting it go, the breath. Bring the leg in towards you, let that breath go. And swapping legs over. Deep breath in, let that breath go. Nice and easy. Deep breath in, let that breath go. Deep breath in, letting the breath go. And then we are also going to go for a little arm stretch. So sitting up nice and tall, arm across the body, and the opposite arm wraps underneath. So right arm across and left arm across. Deep breath. Letting that air just drop back into the body again. Nice and easy. And swapping over. Some deep breaths. And letting it go, deep breath in. And let it go. So that concludes the end of our session today. And have a lovely day. I will see you in our next workout.